Hi, Dennis.
Hi, my name is Dennis Ruh. I'm the director of the European Film Market, and I'm here in Santa Monica for the American Film Market. And yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. For me, it's really the first time at the American Film Market, as it did not take place on site for the last 2 years. So we also share this in a way. I started to work as a director of the European Film Market in 2020, and it was really in the midst of the pandemic. So we had to move our film market also online for the first two editions. But now we are looking very much forward to be back in person next year in Berlin. So yeah.
Maybe, Dennis, can you share with our audience a little bit about your background, how you came into film, and how you came then into running the EFM, one of the biggest markets in the world, attached to the biggest festival, one of the biggest festivals in the world.
Of course. So I start really at the point when I entered the film and festival business. So I started at a festival, a smaller festival in Germany, focusing on American independent films, and I started in programming.
Which one?
In Oldenburg, the Oldenburg Film Festival.
It's a great one. Yes, lovely.
It's a great one, and it was also a good starting point, really, to experience what a festival is. And what different fields of work you have inside the festival business. So at smaller festivals you really do kind of everything if you work there for the entire year. And that was the case for me, and it was really a good starting point, I would say. And from Oldenburg I moved on to German films. I worked for German films for 8 years. Dealing especially with festivals, also with international markets, being in charge of German pavilions at international markets, but also organizing networking receptions and so on for German films, for promoting German films abroad.
And Mariette was there, no, at the time?
Yes. She was there, but later on I also worked with Simone Baumann, now as a managing director of German films.
Right.
Yeah, and then I started in 2020 in Berlin.
Right. What brought? I mean, why did you accept the challenge? And what tempted you into running EFM?
Yeah, for me it was really time for the next step in my career, and I really knew the EFM from the exhibitor perspective, as also German films run a big stand at the European Film Market. So yeah, it was, as I saw that this position is vacant, I thought, it's a good opportunity,
of course,
for the next step in my career. And it's also a legendary market. As you know, Becky Probst, the founder of the market, made it very big, and
Becky started from day one. I mean, she was the one initiated the market.
Yes, she initiated the market. Back then it was called the Film Messe.
Oh yeah.
But she transformed it in the European film market and made it a huge market and one of the top film markets in the world. And we still hold this position, and as I speak here in Santa Monica, also to a lot of sales agents and distributors, everyone is really keen to return to Berlin.
Yes.
So we look very much forward to have the next edition with a good presence, with, I think, good numbers as well. So, yeah.
So for some of my filmmakers haven't never been to Berlin or even to Cannes. How would you describe what's happening in Berlin in mid-February, usually, the festival and market? Can you just tell a little bit of figures, how many, what's happening?
Yeah, as you know, Berlin is one of the biggest audience festivals in the world.
Yes.
So
like 400,000 or something? Or what's the figure?
Something like 400,000 tickets sold during the festival, during the Berlinale. And this is also a kind of a USP for the European film market, to be a film market running at the same time as an audience festival. So also the distributors and the sales agents can have this resonance from the audience during the premieres. And so that's the festival side, but the film market is also a huge event. We have one main venue, which is the Martin Gropiusbau.
Which is perfect, I must say, really perfect for that.
It's a very nice building. It's usually an exhibition hall, a historic building, and it has a very nice flair. And I think it's one of the nicest exhibition spaces for film markets.
And it's open as opposed to this one here, where you have to enter a room. In Berlin at the EFM, it's open. You don't hesitate. You just try your luck and enter.
So at the MGB, we also have a lot of traffic of attendees, but we also have the Marriott Hotel, and we also have the opportunity for sales agents to have a bit more privacy in hotel suites, like here at the American Film Market, where a hotel is the main venue. So we have those venues. For the next edition, we also have a new venue very close to the Gropiusbau for our conferences. You know, we have also this extensive conference program as part of our film market, focusing on changes in the film industry, new perspectives, trends, and so on. And of course, we have plenty of screenings. Usually we have around 1,000 screenings or 1,200 screenings. So in the past 2 years...
Just like Cannes, actually.
Like Cannes,
same figure,
yeah. And in the past 2 years, of course, it was all online.
Yes.
And for the next edition, we also plan to have some online components. So the market will be a physical market. Our focus will be on the physical encounter, on the meetings. But as we also developed this online platform, we will give also the opportunity to participants to catch up on market screenings afterwards. For a few weeks we will have a VOD service for films. And
Just one question, we're coming back to the sessions and the panels, etc. The new location, where is going you mentioned a new location besides the MGB, or is that still confidential? Or?
It's not really confidential, but we will announce the name of this building very soon.
So it's going to be close?
It's close to the Gropiusbau. It's a 2 minutes walk, maybe.
Okay, wonderful. That's one of the advantages, I must say, and for my audience, that things in Berlin are relatively easy to navigate. You go from the festival area to the market using shuttles. You could even walk. It's more centralized in my view than Toronto, for instance.
Absolutely. And we will even centralize the market a bit more for the next edition, as we will move all market screenings on Potsdamer Platz. In the past, we also had market screenings taking place at venues like the Zug Palace, also at the Cubics at Alexanderplatz. But for the next edition, we will have all screenings centralized at Potsdamer Platz, which is convenient for the buyers and for distributors.
And maybe that's not an easy question, but what kind of tip would you give to a first-time attendee of the market coming with the finished film? How should he approach?
So my tip would be: prepare your visit in advance.
Yes.
So make meetings, really study our industry guide, study who is there at the market, which company has which kind of profile. So be prepared.
And use Sinando.
Yeah, and you can use Sinando, but you can also use our very own industry guide.
Right.
So as a market participant, you will have access to an industry guide. For the next edition, we will also have a new service online, which is called the producers and project pages. So you can, as a producer, you can even present projects on our website and give information and do matchmaking with the service.
Actually the reason I mentioned Sinando is because those new the filmmakers who need and want to prepare and send out, let's say, blasts to the sales agents saying, "Hey, I have a new project. Will you want to, etc." Does your website, is your data open, or do they need to be on Sinando to get the emails and who does what,
No.
which company, or you have that when you are registering?
Yeah, we have our very own website.
Which
it's,
you
it's
share?
not accessible via Sinando, no. You need to be registered for the EFM to get access to our project pages. Yeah.
Okay. Now, since it's probably very kind of frustrating for you to have started and have those online edition instead of the big in-person thing, but maybe it gave also the opportunity to think what online can add to a in-person event. Did you make changes in your vision about having a more online components in the future than there was before COVID, or?
Yeah, before COVID, the EFM did not really had online components like online screenings, catch-up screenings. And
Nobody
as I just mentioned, it's very convenient also to have catch-up screenings after the market, and we will continue to have the catch-ups. We will also continue to have online screenings during the market. But we will focus really on the physical encounters. That's the most important thing, to really meet in person, to extend your network, to together, to also, to really have the physical encounter, which cannot really be replicated online.
Yeah, because film is about network, it's about team, and you meet team in those networking opportunities. I just wonder, are you thinking of adding maybe online panels or stuff like that with people that cannot be present, but or are you just doing physical panels?
We do the panels physically, but we will have a VOD available afterwards.
Okay, all right, my catch-up things, yes, all right. And maybe a few comments about what you believe, how you see the state of the industry, and what COVID did to the various sections of the profession. Probably the ones that were most hit were the theaters, so that's not what we're going to talk about. But what about your clients and partners and the companies that sell and buy? How do you see them surviving or growing? Or
I think it's a very interesting time because the industry is evolving, it's shifting in a way. And I was also kind of surprised to see all the companies, even after the pandemic or in the late days of the pandemic, all surviving. Yeah. So I don't talk to anyone who left the business so far. So all the companies are still there, and so I talked to many distributors also in the past weeks, and for some during COVID the situation was even better, because they put a lot of films online. They made a lot of money with online distribution as well. So this became a big part of the business. And the situation, you can't really give a general answer to it because it's different in various countries. But of course, it's also challenging to bring a specific generation back to cinemas. So especially for art house films, it's not an easy time for theatrical distribution right now. But I believe in opportunities. So I think there's a big opportunity to bring also a young audience to cinema, and they are mostly back, and content for a young audience is very well sold right now. Also animation film, there's a big trend or good results in sales for animation film. So I really believe in opportunities.
Well, I love hearing your message of hope and optimism. That's really good. Oh, that reminds me, I was this morning on one of the panel. I don't know if you were attending the one about the state of the industry and the indies and the future and how they people. What struck me this morning session was the fact that the people who spoke were just like you did, were positive, optimistic, and the audience applauded to that. And I found it pretty rare to have the audience applaud during a panel in the middle of it, and in this case applauding to positive speech, and that's very important
Yeah.
to share this positive message that everyone sees. First thing people start talking in the market like this is, oh, how do you think? Oh, it looks dull, it looks empty, and no, it's not, and it's thriving. And that remind me of Jonathan Wolf here, the head of AFM before, saying, I don't like to see a busy lobby. It means they are not making deals in the rooms. And I love
Yeah.
that answer. I really loved it.
No,
Yes.
but as you know, it's a very passionate industry, and
Yeah.
the people working in this industry, they really do it by heart. And
Yes.
I think this is also why many of them are very optimistic and really believe in the future of film and distribution.
So, Dennis, is there anything you're really looking forward, or you're looking forward to implement, to do for the first time, or to change, or for the next edition? Of course, in person, right?
Yeah, so the big change is really that we organize a physical edition next year.
Yeah.
And of course, we have some projects which will be also announced in the next week, so I can't really say
Okay.
right now too much about it, but we have some innovation
Great.
for the next edition of the EFM, and are also working on 2024 and
Wonderful.
further editions.
And Dennis, maybe you can close by saying the dates of the next edition.
Of course, yeah. The dates of the next EFM European Film Market are February 16 to 22nd. The dates of the Berlinale, the Berlin Film Festival, are 16th of February to the 26th.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dennis, for sharing with our audience, and I see you in Berlin in next February with
And-
pleasure.
And I look forward to see you in Berlin and also your audience.
Danke sehr. Cheers.
Ciao.
Ciao. Thanks.